So I'm back with another Cerebral solo. I know I haven't done one of these in a minute, and I know I've mostly just been posting, shorts content and stuff like that, and that's been doing really well, and I appreciate everyone who's been watching that and, possibly sharing it. I'm not sure if anyone is sharing it or not, but if you are, thank you. I appreciate that. That's been doing really well. But, um, with this Cerebral solo, I kind of wanted to talk about cerebral palsy, and not necessarily on the physical end, but more of the what the namesake is, more of the cerebral, the mental side, because that's what I've been trying to come to, not necessarily come to terms with, but kind of just deal with, and kind of get used to more and more, because sometimes I forget that just as much as cerebral palsy for me is physical, it's also mental, and that's one thing that I'm starting to remember with all the stuff I've been going through, like the thing with my foot that's been going on for a while. It's not the pain in my foot isn't happening as much anymore because I got new shoes that are actually my size that actually fit, so I'm not dealing with the foot pain as much or at all anymore, which is really really good, and it's just really really good, and that makes me happy. But um with the foot pain not being there, the battle that I'm kind of going through now is more of the mental side, because my feet are okay now, and because I'm wearing shoes that fit and then are more comfortable, and then I can walk in with everything that I think I mentioned this in my last Cerebral solo, but just in case I didn't, just to for a little backstory, for a little recap. The reason I was going through my whole foot thing the past few months was because I decided to walk to the dollar store after a workout. My legs were, super tired, and something told me not to go. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the dollar store, get a post-workout snack, walk back. Everything's gonna be fine. Go home, do my recovery. There's gonna be no issues. But so I went to the dollar store, and as I was walking back from the dollar store, I was walking down the ramp to cross the street, and as I was walking down the ramp, when I took a step with my left foot, I felt a shot of pain go through my foot. It kind of felt like a pop. I'm not sure if it was if if something popped in my foot or if it was just a sharp pain, but when I stepped, there was a sharp pain, and then my entire body kind of froze up, and I was kind of trying to force myself to walk across the street, but it was really difficult because my brain was telling my body not to move because of the pain and everything. But ever since that, I've been I was dealing with the foot pain for a little bit, and ever since the foot pain kind of went away and everything, um but because of that whole situation, it's been difficult for me to walk down ramps or anything kind of slanted, because in my brain, well, not necessarily, my brain tells my body that because this is an uneven surface, it it tells my body to kind of stop because it's uneven and it's uncomfortable, and my entire body kind of like, it kind of freezes, and it's been going on for a little bit. Not only does that happen when I'm walking on slanted surfaces and or on uneven spaces, it happens when I'm walking in open areas without any walls or like railings. If I'm walking next to a wall or next to somebody, there's no issue. But as soon as I get into an open space where there's like nobody around, my entire body just kind of stops. And I think it's mostly because there's an I don't want to say unconscious, but like a subconscious fear that I'm going to, hurt my foot again, or I'm gonna fall. So, as a response, my brain tells my entire body to stop, and that's been what I've been dealing with as of late. It's been getting, it was getting better. It was getting better actually a couple weeks ago. I was getting better with walking in open spaces, and I'm like, okay, I'm making progress. I'm getting better with walking in open spaces, and I'm not asking people for help as much to get past little things, and I'm making progress. But then I ended up getting sick 2 weeks ago, which I'm just now getting over this past week, and because of me getting sick, whenever I get sick, it throws off my equilibrium. My body gets really weak, and it's difficult for me to walk. And because it was difficult for me to walk, um, the whole thing with the walking in open spaces happened again. I was having to, find creative ways just to, get a couple inches over to another part of the gym, or part of, and making it look, and not making it look as obvious that I needed help. I was coming up with creative ways to do that. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I made it look obvious that I was, going through something. I would fake like I dropped my water bottle on the floor just to have something to hold on to, just to get past a little open space or something like that. And it it gets really, really frustrating, because it's really frustrating when you're physically you're okay, but mentally you're at least for me, mentally having to deal with all that. Telling your body that, you're trying to tell your brain that everything is good, but your brain's telling your body no, and then you're kind of fighting yourself. And it's been really, really annoying and frustrating. But I'm slowly getting back to it, and getting I'm slowly getting better. It's gonna take time. I know it's gonna take time, and I know it's gonna take a lot of work on my end, not only physically but also working on my on my mentality. To get back to where I was a few months ago, and it only happened like, honestly, like 2-3 months ago. And usually when stuff, and it hasn't been that bad as far as walking down ramps and stuff since I was working at FedEx, which was years ago. And it's been it's been really annoying, because I work so hard physically to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen, that when it happens, I get frustrated. And when I get frustrated, it it's just difficult to kind of deal with and kind of navigate. But that's one thing I have to remember, that not only is cerebral palsy physical, but it's also something mental that you have to deal with as well. So I say all that to say, for people that may watch this that have cerebral palsy, that could be dealing with the same things, don't forget that, just as much as cerebral palsy affects you physically, it also affects you mentally as well, to varying degrees. So I would just remember to always make sure that your mental's on point, that you're taking care of your mental just as much as you're taking care of your physical. Because because you want both to work hand in hand as much as possible. Just because, you know, you'll have these physical limitations, mentally you may be good, and mentally you may be able to fight through them. But if you're not working on your mental as much, or making sure that you're okay mentally, it'll also affect you physically. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and what I've been going through lately, and give you guys a little update. And I should be back with the next one soon. And I'm also working on setting up a few interviews for the rest of this month, so be on the lookout for those. And thank you guys for watching.